Good morning. My name's Dan Dodds. I'm the principal attorney at the Dodds Law Firm in Surprise, Arizona. Today I wanted to talk to you about, based on my experience, what are the three reasons that people typically will elect to file for bankruptcy protection. And again, this is based on my perspective of working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in financial difficulty over the years. These are the three reasons that I see most of the time. The first reason is they are just overwhelmed by the amount of debt that didn't worry them when times were good, but when times are bad or something catastrophic has happened in their life, they can see that they can't pack that much debt successfully. So they're just overwhelmed. The second thing I see that brings people to my office is because they're overwhelmed, they have become very fearful because of creditors or debt collectors calling them on a 24/7 basis, sending them emails, sending them text messages, essentially saying, if you don't pay us, we're going to sue you. The third reason that I typically see, why are people all of a sudden feel that they're financially strapped and can't meet their debt loads? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but I think there's four that bring that event on. One is, the most frequent one, they've lost their job. They just don't have the income to meet their needs in terms of debt repayment. The second reason is that they've or someone in their family has experienced a health crisis which insurance does not help cover. And I can understand that. I had recently had to have a back surgery to have some of my disc fused. Had I not had insurance, when I got all the bills were $275,000. Without insurance, that would have taken me out. So they've experienced a health crisis where their insurance or lack of insurance will not assist them in paying the bills. Unfortunately, another one is they've had a spouse die recently. They've lost that income. They've got additional expenses, and because it was their spouse, they owe the debt just as if it had been their debt. So sometimes when people pass, that becomes very difficult for the surviving spouse. The last reason that I see is when an economy, either an state economy or a federal economy, begins to tank. Let me explain why that brings people to my office. In World War II, my father was a Seabee, and he was in the Pacific Theater. When he wasn't running heavy equipment building airstrips, he was a front turret gunner on a destroyer. And I remember as a young child, my father telling me that he wasn't afraid to die, and most of his sailors weren't. What they were afraid of is the ship taking a lethal hit, and they were ordered to abandon the ship. He explained to me that the danger is that if you didn't get far enough away from that ship before it started to go down, it sucks water down with it. It's displacing water, and water's backfilling. So if you couldn't swim far enough away from that boat, the very boat that you were trying to escape would suck you down with it and you'd die. That's a kind of a frightening thought. And I think an awful lot of people in the 2006 recession, in the 1960-61 recession, and the 1956 recession, that's what scared them. They knew that if they didn't get away from that debt when the economy tanked, and if they lost their job or anything bad happened, it would suck them in and destroy them. Well, I hope that information is at least helpful to you to understand that sometimes my grandmother was right when she used to say, Danny, never forget, bad things also happen to good people, but that does not mean they're bad people. If I can be of any assistance to you in helping you think yourself through this, or helping you determine whether bankruptcy might be an appropriate thing for you to think about, I would invite you to call my office, and you can get the information on the following page. Thank you.